I think a lot of the listeners are probably suffering under this issue that they have to communicate in meetings, either online or in person, to different people, different stakeholders with different emotions. And I don't think this podcast can serve as a 100% foolproof guideline step by step on how to do that. I think we'll have to talk about what education programs there are out there.
Yeah.
But maybe just a rough guideline. What are some things that people could do in preparing for a meeting that would guarantee? What are some of the standard recommendations that PCM kind of remind you of what to think about when you're going into a meeting?
If you know PCM or without knowing PCM?
Well, for those people who are listening, probably don't know PCM.
Yeah. So,
what would be some basic? What would kind of in German we say die Vorstufe, before I get to PCM? What would be some good recommendations that I could get from PCM that would make my meetings better?
One thing, if you are addressing people, try to do it with different energies.
Yeah.
So with some fun, with an emotional statement where you really be happy to see the people, make some structure, bring in some opinion that's an important topic or what's the important outcome, and also let some time to reflect. A small exercise, just think about which question can pop up, and bring in some to do. What can you do?
Yeah.
Bottom line, what's it do?
Activation.
Activation. So it's definitely the sixth perception. If you include this in your intro over the day, and then you can use, for instance, some slides, some videos to support this.
So change the medium.
Yes. And
change the pace, change the tone.
Last week I got a phone call from one of our trainers and said, Uwe, help me. I have a group of people, it was a PCM seminar, they are, I think 90% have a lot of thinker energy, but they do not talk to me. When I ask a question to them,
oh my God,
you ask a question to 15 people in front of you.
And nobody answers.
Nobody answers. So that's easy. If they have a lot of thinker or persister approach, what they need is they have a preferred social environment that's called one-to-one. Mm-hmm. So make the following. Just let them stick their heads together for 1 or 2 minutes and let them generate questions. One-on-one. Just 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah. With the neighbor, you've heard this now. What are your questions on that? 1 minute. And then you have unbelievable an amount of questions. Why? Because they get their social environment, their preferred one. If they're sitting in the plenary, this is not their preferred social environment. So what you can create is for a minute or two a safe space for them, and then you will get all the questions. If you don't do it, you will suffer because they are so quiet and looking to you, they don't have any questions. And she called me in the evening and said, oh, this idea was brilliant. It's just about applying PCM.
Sometimes it's just a small step, but you're missing that one step, right?
Yeah, and with online seminars, it's the same. When you look to the people on the flat screen, and what are your questions? You will get no response at all. So I think you do it the same way. You call them by the name. Yeah. So Uwe, what's your take on that? Yeah. And then you have a contact. So what's happening? You're doing a one-to-one in the plenary. And this is PCM, applied PCM. So this is a recommendation if you have a group of people not answering to your questions. Let's have a one-on-one conversation with them for 1 minute and gain the questions.